Hello everyone, Mr. Blubberjack here today. Now this is going to be relatively fast because I want to make sure that this video is made and I want to make sure that I am in a consistent, should I say streak when it comes to making content like this. And also, sorry for the mic quality. For a while we're going to be voicing on the phone. I had a very good mic, but right now I have to keep it under locks until I feel like using it again. But for now, we're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, a large portion of these videos are just mainly going to be about my personal experience with the character. But when it comes to at least the bare meat of who Sonic is, from the very inception since he was created as a rival to Mario. And believe it or not, the company Nintendo and Sega have been creating games even longer than their actual prospective mascots. Nintendo at first used to be a card game company, which old habits die hard, because Pokemon still holds that strong will. And Sega, as a gaming company, back then primarily focused on pinball machines. This will hopefully explain the reason for why there was ever a Casino Night stage, including the consistency of Sonic rolling into a ball. Because I don't know if anybody was ever aware of this, but Sonic would clearly be a lot faster in his ball form than he was ever running. This is not to say that Sonic isn't a fast-moving hedgehog, at least on foot, but the foundations of Sega as a video gaming company are exclusively based off of pinball. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure Mario does the speed running a lot much better than Sonic could ever pull it off in 2D. Mario Wonderworld as an example. But I still can't deny, Sonic's games are actually legitimately fun. Although, there's a lot of trial and error, because to get the most out of any of Sonic's stages, you have to kind of already know what exactly is coming up. Because as the tagline says, he is the fastest thing alive. But going into my personal experience, I just remember Sonic always being there. Even if Sonic did make a quote-unquote bad game, regardless, it was almost tradition to wait for a new Sonic game to come out. Whether we were going to bash it or praise it, it was just a blessing to actually see the whole thing unfold. But getting into more personal information in regards to me liking Sonic, I was introduced to Sonic through the likes of a Genesis controller that hooked up to the TV, and this was one of my friends' video games, so it wasn't something that I actually owned for myself. So yes, I had originally played the classic games, but since I always played it so much, I always wanted a version of Sonic that was current, or at least my own version of Sonic. And whenever I would say that to my parents would look into GameStop and they'd ended up finding Sonic Heroes. This is obviously the era of 2003 or 2004 of Sonic the Hedgehog. And then honestly, accidentally, I'd end up running into Sonic X on TV. So it's just the culmination of the character constantly being rubbed in my face. Added that on to the fact that Sonic is really cool. He's a cool boy kind of character. He's blue, he's spiky, and he's fast.
Dr. Egghead thinks he can nab that Chaos Emerald before me.
What? Sonic!
Yo, Eggman! Thanks for that little skydiving adventure the other day.
I should have known you'd still be alive, you stubborn little hedgehog!
When it comes to Sonic's personality, he's supposed to reflect exactly how he is in the video games. Basically, he's supposed to have a mature attitude about him.
Hey, wait! That's playing dirty! Come back!
Just ignore him. Is everyone here all right?
Yes.
He's supposed to be addicted to danger and action and adventure. And he's completely confident in who he is. Later interpretations of the character would go to redefine his attitude-like personality into a hero archetype, which would see multiple iterations of the character expressing a smart aleck Bugs Bunny type to your average everyday cool dude, finally morphing into something of a shonen hero-esque. Sonic started off as a rival, in a sense an anti-hero to Mario's cardboard box personality, if you will. But now that Sonic and Sega were trying to create full-on stories, without mentioning it, Sonic was always, at least to me, the ideal of what it means to be a hero. Sonic would never outright state it, and just would state his name. He's Sonic the Hedgehog, and you're supposed to know exactly what that means.
That's a pretty snazzy performance there. I'm Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog!
Not the irritating hedgehog again! Attack!
You could say that Sonic is pretty much the speedster of the video gaming world. Like how the Flash is pretty much the speedster of the comic world, Sonic is always known for his high-speed platforming skills. An element that has derived from Mario, but hyper-focus into amping it up. But along with the ability to run at the speed of sound, Sonic can also transform into a ball form, utilizing his spikes on his back, and rocket propulsioning himself into a bunch of different enemies. With that, Sonic also has the ability to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds and transform into the legendary Super Sonic, which moves at light speed, which is essentially Super Saiyan, but it's a nice callback. Sonic's all around the world, 100% known for his ability to run super fast, faster than the speed of sound. In fact, if you ever recognize Sonic's actual name, the word Sonic in itself is the meaning of a sound wave, which specifically, Sonic's ability of running fast is the hallmark of why we do find him entertaining. This would probably be one of the most misleading ideas about Sonic. This is also an explanation for why the video games are so trash, but the music is always consistently good unless you're Sonic Boom. But when it comes to Sonic, every single sound in the video game acts as an earworm, and a lot of the music tracks are really supposed to be the peak of what exactly video game can offer, especially as a competitor to Mario, one of the best franchises of all time when it comes to video gaming. And plus, may I add, the frequency of sound waves, especially when it's anybody talking or making a specific noise, in its own way has to be on point. I think Sonic's biggest expression is in the way of how he sounds usually, which creates a lot of headache over, at least, the way he sounds every single iteration of his franchise, if you will. But the purpose of Sonic, at least to me, has always been a mascot that could definitely sell a bunch of stuff because I definitely will buy a bunch of stuff. He's just really cool, not only in the way that he sounds, but the music and all of the other entertaining things that goes on in his franchise. And usually when we get that really good combination of different ideas into a video game, and it's actually successful, and it's actually fun, and at the end of the day, it just sounds right. Nostalgia. I'll just leave it at that.
So, there's more to you than just looking like me. What are you, anyway?
What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventure. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog!
I see. But you know, I can't let you live. Your adventuring days are coming to an end.
So, a character's dream is pretty much the thing that they wish more than anything. Basically, every action they take is in pursuit of that goal. But here's the very thing. The very nature of Sonic being free to run wherever he wants is exactly his dream. But it also comes with a couple of other perks as well. He values the protection of his friends and his flicky friends. He enjoys the ever-going luscious green hill zone, where he can run around loop-de-loops till his heart contends. But even when times get bad, and Eggman starts threatening his friends, comes up with his own laboratories, psychs out Sonic with his giant armada and empire. This is never a problem for Sonic, because this is just where the fun begins. And Sonic has always been the special blue one of his comrade of friends that are always fighting the good fight. Is Sonic doing it for hero worship, Or is he doing it out of his own selfishness, of running fast and having fun? In all honesty, why can't it be both?
Well, actually, the reason Alternate Dimension Knuckles is here is that Alternate Dimension Eggman shot him with lasers from Alternate Dimension Octopus Bot.
That's so alternate dimension me.
Any chance we could borrow your lasers so Tails can send this guy back and prevent the destruction of pretty much everything?
Sure. You should have just asked me in the first place. But I need him back by Thursday. I'm gonna attack. I'm having a party.
Jaleel White, Ryan Drummond, Jason Griffith, Roger Craig Smith, the guy who plays all the blue guys, including the current voice for Sonic from the Sonic Prime series. Sonic is performed by a multitude of different actors, and throughout the years, it's almost as if he's progressively getting older, because each iteration of his voice just naturally gets deeper. But oddly enough, at the end of the day, Roger Craig Smith has been the voice of Sonic for a grand total of 14 years. Jason Griffith is the second longest, lasting at the most about 9 years. Every voice actor does their best, so I'm not going to shame any of them. I have a biased voice actor, but I also have an understanding that a lot of things should change over time. And that it's pretty much a dream come true if you do become Sonic. But in all honesty, I think Roger Craig Smith fits the role just perfectly. There's no point in going back into the past because Sonic isn't the version of himself from the past that we all remember. Technology, other things just boost up. And along with it, so does the voices.
It doesn't matter now what happens, I will never give up the fight. There is no way I will run away from all of my frights. As long as the voice inside me says go, I will always keep on running. There is no way to stop me from going to the very top. It doesn't matter who is wrong or who is right.
Wow!